Hello students, I Mrs. Vaishali today am going to teach you paper 4 Immunology of TYBSc class. The chapter 2 Formation of blood cells. The topic is hematopoiesis. After the lecture, the student should be able to define the process of hematopoiesis, should be able to tell the different types of cells of the myeloid lineage, explain the formation of erythrocytes, platelets, WBCs, mast cells, macrophages and the dendritic cells, which are the cells of the myeloid lineage. We will be restricting ourselves to the myeloid lineage cell formation. So let us start with the process of the definition of hematopoiesis. Hematopoiesis is a process through which the body produces blood cells. Or in other words, it is a biological process in which new blood cells are formed in the bone marrow. This process usually starts with the hematopoietic stem cell, which becomes committed progenitor cell and ultimately develops into a fully mature differentiated cells in the blood. As a single type of a cell produces all the 10 different cell types in the blood, the theory is referred to as the monophyletic theory. The process of hematopoiesis starts early when the life begins. During the embryonic development, hematopoiesis occurs in the yolk sac. The process then occurs in the spleen, liver and the lymph nodes as the embryo further develops. Within the fetus, the primary site of hematopoiesis is the liver. But when the bone marrow develops completely, the process of hematopoiesis is shifted from the liver into the bone marrow. In children, the major site of hematopoiesis in the bone marrow is the bone marrow of the femur and the tibia bones. In adults, it occurs in the cranium, vertebrae, sternum and the pelvis because as the age increases, the bone marrow it decreases and therefore a variety of different bones are involved in the formation of the different types of cells in the blood. All the cells are derived from the multipotent hematopoietic stem cell, which has an ability to make copies of themselves in the bone marrow, and thus it is referred to as the process of self-renewal. That is, the hematopoietic stem cells have an ability of self-renewal. These cells receive signals from the body. Different stem cells receive different signals from the body which controls the development of these cells into the mature cells. A large majority of the cells form the RBCs or the erythrocytes, while a few cells form the WBCs and the platelets. The WBCs that are formed are either granulocytes or they are agranulocytes. The rate of hematopoiesis depends upon the body's needs at that specific times. If there is an infection and the body requires large number of neutrophils, the signals will be provided to the bone marrow such that most of the cells will lead to the production of the neutrophils. In case of parasitic infections where helminths are the parasites that invade the body, at that time it is necessary that the body requires large number of eosinophils and thus the signal will be provided to the cell, to the bone marrow such that the bone marrow will start producing a large number of eosinophils. Approximately 1% of the body cells are replaced every day because the old cells undergo wear and tear during their functioning in the body. The smallest lifespan is of the WBCs, which is a few hours to few days, while the RBCs have a lifespan of around 120 days. And because WBCs have a very short lifespan, it needs to be replaced more frequently as compared to the RBCs. All the cells of the blood can be divided into two major types or two major lineages, that are the myeloid progenitors, the myeloid cells and the lymphoid cells. The myeloid cells are the cells that are developed from the myeloid progenitor cell and can be grouped into different categories, that is the RBCs, the platelets, the WBCs, which include the granulocytes, that is the neutrophils, eosinophils and the basophils, mast cells, which are also the granulocytes but have a different process of maturation, the monocytes, which are the agranulocytes, which further differentiate into the macrophages and the dendritic cells. While the cells that occur from the lymphoid progenitor cells are the cells of the lymphoid lineage, which include the small lymphocytes, that is the B and the T lymphocytes, and the large granular lymphocytes, which are the natural killer cells. Let us begin with the process of erythropoiesis, that is the formation of erythrocytes. The process in which the erythrocytes are produced in the bone marrow is referred to as erythropoiesis. The process starts at the hematoblast, which is a multipotent hematopoietic stem cell. It gives rise to the common myeloid progenitor cell, which can lead to the formation of a number of cells of the myeloid lineage. But in presence of interleukin 3, granulocyte, monocyte, colony stimulating factor and erythropoietin, it undergoes differentiation into the colony forming unit E, that is the colony forming unit that is responsible for the formation of the erythrocytes. This CFUE further differentiates into the pronormoblast or the proerythroblast in presence of the interleukin 3 and the GM-CSF in addition to the erythropoietin. The pronormoblast further gets converted into the normoblast or the erythroblast. This erythroblast cell is a very large cell as compared to the other cells, and this erythroblast gets converted into the reticulocyte or the erythrocyte, which is an immature erythrocyte. For this conversion of erythroblast into the erythrocyte, the erythroblast has to undergo three different developmental stages, which include the early stage where it is basophilic in nature, and this basophilic nature is because of the accumulation of the ribosomes within the cell. The early stage then gets converted into the intermediate stage where the cell is referred to as the polychromatic erythroblast. This is because the cytoplasm of the cell appears to be grey-green in color, and this grey-green color of the cytoplasm is mainly because of the accumulation of the hemoglobin. The last stage is the orthochromatic stage, in which the erythroblast is referred to as the orthochromatic erythroblast or the normoblast. In this stage, the nucleus of the cell, it shrinks, becomes very dark in color, and the cytoplasm appears to be bright pink in color because of large amount of hemoglobin that is formed in the cytoplasm. The size of the erythroblast is large, and as it gets converted into the normoblast, the size decreases. So, as compared to erythroblast, basophilic erythroblast is smaller. The polychromatic erythroblast is more smaller than the basophilic erythroblast, and the smallest cell is the orthochromatic erythroblast. This orthochromatic erythroblast gets converted into the reticulocyte, and during this conversion into a reticulocyte or the immature erythrocyte, the orthochromatic erythroblast loses its nucleus. The nucleus from the normoblast is lost by the process of unequal division of the cytoplasm. The reticulocyte that is formed has a large amount of filamentous RNA. In 2 to 3 days, the immature erythrocyte loses the filamentous RNA and gets converted into the mature erythrocyte, which is rich in hemoglobin content and is released in the circulation. The entire process of development of or the formation of the mature erythrocyte requires vitamins like the folic acid and the cobalamin, which is essential for the maturation of the erythrocytes. The second type of cells that are formed from the common myeloid progenitor cells are the granulocytes. The granulocytes can be divided into two types, the polymorphonuclear leukocytes and the mast cells, which are the granulated cells, and the agranulated cells, which lack the cytoplasmic granules in the cytoplasm, are the monocytes. So, we shall study in detail the formation of the granulocytes or the WBCs, that is the polymorphonucleated cells, basophils, neutrophils and eosinophils. All these three cell types undergo a similar process of maturation, where there are 5 different stages which lead to the formation of the mature granulocytes, and the process by which these cells are formed is known as the granulopoiesis. Now, although the 3 different types of cells undergo similar stages of development, the requirements for these cells to mature are different. For the basophils, to undergo the different stages of maturation, it requires interleukin 3, the granulocyte monocyte colony stimulating factor GM-CSF, and the granulocyte colony stimulating factor, that is the GCSF. The multipotent hematopoietic stem cell gives rise to the common myeloid progenitor cell, which differentiates into the CFU-GM, that is the colony forming unit that leads to the formation of a granulocyte and the monocyte, which further undergoes differentiation into the CFU-G, that is the colony forming unit that leads to the formation of granulocytes. These CFU-Gs undergo differentiation into the promyelocytes. Depending upon the cell, for example, when the basophil is formed, the promyelocyte that is formed is the basophil promyelocyte. This basophil promyelocyte further gets differentiated into the basophil myelocyte. Basophil myelocyte gets converted into the basophil metamyelocyte, and this basophil metamyelocyte undergoes differentiation into a band cell, which finally matures to form the basophil. The similar process occurs in the formation or development of the neutrophils, where a myeloblast is formed. This myeloblast, in presence of GM-CSF, interleukin 4 and the GCSF, leads to the formation of a neutrophil promyelocyte. The neutrophil promyelocyte matures into a neutrophil myelocyte. Neutrophil myelocyte matures or differentiates into the neutrophil metamyelocyte, which leads to the formation of the neutrophil band cells, which differentiate into the neutrophil in presence of the GM-CSF and the GCSF. The eosinophils are the third type of WBCs, which are also formed from an identical process, but the requirement is a little different. The common myeloid progenitor cell differentiates into the CFU-EO that leads to the formation of colony stimulating factor that is responsible for the production of the eosinophil. This differentiation occurs in presence of interleukin 4. Further, CFU-EO gets converted into a myeloblast, and this myeloblast formation occurs in presence of interleukin 3, the GM-CSF and interleukin 5. The myeloblast undergoes similar differentiation stages like formation of the eosinophil promyelocyte, the eosinophil myelocyte, the eosinophil metamyelocyte and the eosinophil band cell. This eosinophil band cell differentiates into the mature eosinophil in presence of interleukin 5. Mast cells are a type of granulocytes, but they are different from the neutrophils, eosinophils and basophils, which are referred to as the PMNS, that is the polynuclear lymphocytes. The mast cells are granulated cells which develop from the common myeloid progenitor cell without undergoing any different developmental stages in presence of the stromal cell factor and interleukin 3. These cells lead to the formation of mature mast cells. The next type of cells that are produced in the blood are the thrombocytes. The process of formation of thrombocytes is referred to as thrombopoiesis. The process of thrombopoiesis also starts from the hematoblast being converted into the common myeloid progenitor cell, which differentiates into the CFU-MEG, that is the colony forming unit that is responsible for the formation of megakaryocyte. The process of formation of the megakaryocyte is referred to as megakaryopoiesis, where the CFU-MEG undergoes differentiation into the megakaryoblast, which differentiates into the promegakaryocyte, and the promegakaryocyte matures to form the megakaryocyte. This megakaryocyte is responsible for the formation of platelets or the thrombocytes. The process of formation of platelets or thrombocytes is referred to as thrombopoiesis, right? And in which a single megakaryocyte leads to the formation of thousands of platelets or the thousands of thrombocytes, in which small regions of the cell they pinch off from the cell and form the platelets. Another type of cell that is formed from the common myeloid progenitor cell is the monocyte, and the process of formation of monocytes is referred to as monocytopoiesis, in which in presence of interleukin 3 and the GM-CSF and the GCSF, a common myeloid progenitor cell is formed, and this common myeloid progenitor cell leads to the formation of CFU-GM, that is the colony forming unit responsible for the formation of granulocyte or monocytes. Further differentiation occurs where the CFU-GM gets converted into the CFU-M, that is the colony forming unit responsible for the formation of monocytes. This CFUM differentiates into the monoblast, and the monoblast, in presence of GM-CSF, interleukin 4 and GCSF, undergoes a differentiation into the promonocyte. The promonocyte then leads to the formation of a mature monocyte. This mature monocyte remains in the circulation for around 24 hours. And after 24 hours in the circulation, it comes out into the vascular spaces. When the monocyte enters into the vascular spaces, it undergoes differentiation into the macrophages or into the dendritic cells. The macrophages that are formed from the monocyte are large cells which are approximately 10 times larger than the monocyte and more complex than the monocyte. And the macrophages are highly phagocytic cells, and therefore they help in phagocytosing the antigen and help in the elimination of the antigen from the body. The second type of cell that is formed from the monocyte are the myeloid dendritic cells. These are a type of antigen presenting cells that help or that internalize the antigen by the process of pinocytosis, process antigen and present it to the respective T cells in order to activate the T cells for the humoral or the cell mediated immune responses. These are some of the references that I have used for my presentation. I hope you have understood the formation of the cells. Thank you.